So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is part 3 of the Johanna's Christmas colouring book, and I'm on the phonograph page. I've drawn in twice as many swirls, so it's taken probably twice as long as it would normally to colour, but I'm enjoying myself. I'm using my little colour book to choose the colours that I want, and then I'm choosing out the pencil sleeves from the Derwent pencil carry bag, and I think that's better than having to fish around lots of pencils in pencil cases. So I'm going to colour this one in the iris blue, and again there's just the tiniest amount of blue. And again, if you want it dark at the bottom, you can just again scribble over again. So it's just little scribbles, and where you want it to be darker, you just put a little bit more, a double layer. And again, brilliant because I can put the pencil back and it's not going to roll anywhere. So if you're in bed or on the sofa, the pencil has gone back in its pencil case, everything's where it should be, and I've got my little pot of water which is disintegrated now. Sorry, it's evaporated, I've used it all. So I fill my little book up again, my little pan, and then just twist it to a point. So I've got a damp brush, not too wet, and I'm just going to very carefully activate this Derwent Inktense colour. Now you could do the same with the blocks. If you had the Inktense blocks, which I have, you could just use your damp brush and tease colour around if you want to do it that way. There's so many ways to colour. The Inktense blocks are nice because they're very vibrant. They're like these. So that's quite a nice little bauble. And I'm probably going to put some stickles on the centre. So I do have on the other side of here, well, I've got the graphy tint and I've got a cool grey, so I might just actually put a little bit of that on there. I was going to put silver, but I'll use the cool grey. And the graphy tint are the most amazing muted colours. And again, I can just make that a flat colour, ready for the stickles when we've finished the page. So I'm going to use this one here. So I want a vibrant red, really. The chili red's quite nice, and the poppy red. But again, if I'm not quite sure, I can go to my little book, flip the pages over, and look at the vibrant reds. So do I want a pinky red or a purpley red or an orangey red? So you pick the colours, and I think scarlet pink is actually scarlet pink is probably a berry kind of red, a traditional red. So I think I want this as a vibrant flat colour, so just colouring it in as a flat colour. And be careful not to go over the lines, because you can always be short of a line until you activate it with colour, with water, and then your paintbrush can actually push it to the line, so you don't have to always be dead on the line. and you can get a really nice vivid flat, almost like a felt pen effect. When you use them like this, the Inktense go like felt pens. It's a vibrant flat colour, and again, felt pens really aren't an option for me because you've got to pull tops off and put tops back on, and this is a lot simpler for me. You can see that gorgeous colour like magic just pop into that space. And then I want a nice green. Have a look at the greens. And again, you don't have to do this, you can just pick whatever colours, but I like to have a bit of a look because you forget sometimes what colours they're like. So the felt green is quite nice. But again, I have a favourite. For a traditional red and green, I have Hooker's Green and I have Scarlet Pink in the Derwent Inktense pencils because I really like these colours together. They're like a traditional red and green. So I quite like these two together. And they are complementary colours, so of course they're mixed together. So you've got two choices. If you've got dots, you can draw either side carefully. Now I don't have a point on this, so I don't have a lot of control. And then you can just very carefully, oops. And again, you don't need a lot. You don't need to go up to the circles, the dots. You don't need to go up to the line. You can manipulate that colour up there. Again, which is so much easier than having to get this pencil into a small space. Because you really don't need to do that. Oh, Suzanne says that she's got both, but she prefers the blocks. Do you not have a red in the blocks? Oh, that's unusual. I never thought of that. Let me have a look at mine. Mine were $15.99, but I've had mine a long time. So we've got two a yellow, an orange yellow, a pinky red and a red. But you can blend these colours together quite nicely. Oops. Sorry about that. No, the dogs are in the lounge. Oh, sorry, that's the little dog trying to get through. So let me activate this. It's no cottage, and so he won't give up until he's knocked the door down. He obviously thinks that somebody's getting something. Yeah. So I'll just very quickly do this. Yeah, well, I go murder a dog, and it's not Alfie for a change. So, oh, he's managed to do it. Here he comes. This is Dexter. We've had him about 8 years. Yeah, what did you want? He's as deaf as a post. But my daughter thinks he's got selective hearing. So I really like those traditional colours. Sorry about the dogs. It's an old cottage, so if you bang one end of the cottage, the other end rattles. I think it's 180, is it 180 years old? Something like that. I've just found a little bit here that I haven't activated. So the beauty of it is, I can just go and do this now, and there's no fuss. I don't have to find that pen. I can just go back in there and activate that curl. You'll probably find another one somewhere. So I really like that. Not sure what I'm going to do with the beaded tops. That's normally gold, so I have a little yellow one. Excuse me, I have. The cadmium's quite nice. And that was the one I used for Sicilian. I'll leave that to the end and I haven't decided. So this, I'm going to do these, I like this purple. So I think I have dusky pink. So again, I can look at here and think, which pinky purple do I like? Now if I use it like this, I get the mauve colour. There's deep violet, dusky pink, dusky purple. I like thistle actually, but I kind of like deep velvet. So I'm going to have deep. Is it deep purple? No, deep violet. So deep violet. So again, I'm just here. And for this one, I'm just going to stroke at the top, I think. So I'd forgotten to do this with the green, but if you do this, this is kind of a magical thing, but for some reason I forgot to do it. That's number one. What did I do with the paintbrush? It went under there. So I'm quite favouring this number 3 because so again, just activating this colour and tease it around, and so it becomes, as long as you don't get the harsh lines, it becomes quite a nice highlight. As if the bauble was you can't let it dry. You mustn't let it dry because once it's dried it's steadfast because it's an ink. And then I think I'm going to have the Sicilian gold is quite nice, and just the tiniest amount of that one. And I quite like that little one. So I can go back with the Hooker's Green, and I could, once it's completely dried, I can go back in if I want to. And create a bit of a highlight. And tease that out again, tease that colour. And again, that's going to become quite vibrant. Push that to the end. I quite like that. So I've got a bit. Oops, sorry, I've got a bit of a highlight on the top there. And you can do the same with the red. You you can go back in once it's dried if you want. It's got to be completely dry. Or you can go in with a damp brush with some direct colour if you want it very, very dark. So I can touch this and get some really nice dark red in there. There's all sorts you can do. So it's good to play with the first page, and you can have some nice colours then. So we've got this particular one here. So again, sometimes if you're not quite sure, you can have a bit of a look. We've got quite a lot of teal colour, so we want to the golden yellow is quite nice. We might have golden yellow. Could have golden yellow and purple. That would be nice. Or again, we can have some highlight effects, shiny baubles, by putting the tiniest amount in each corner. I might use a smaller brush for this. I think I'll use a 10-0 for this. And just activating the colour and then really quickly teasing that up so you have a natural highlight. So again, activating that colour. You do have to start with a clean brush every time, because if you have a lot of colour, you're going to contaminate it. So you want to start dark and go to pale. Push that colour around. And then this one, you can just activate this, tease that colour down to give a really nice highlight effect. And again, that just was not wet enough really, so just if I can just keep teasing all that down. And you can decide what colour you're going to do. And if you get stuck, you can always look at your practice ones. Have a look at your practice ones, see which ones you like. So there's red and green, there's a pink and a red. I thought I did a red and a yellow at some point. On this side, I've got the red and a golden colour, quite like that. A deeper green and a red. So you can always go back and have a quick look. So I think I like the golden yellow in here. So again, I'm going to have scribble a bit of colour in here and here, and then kind of bring it forward if I can. See if I can get a nice highlight on there. So I'll go for the little bit bigger brush this time because I want a nice highlight. So once you've activated that colour, you then very quickly tease that in. And then activate that one, tease that back. So you've got a really nice highlight right in the middle. And if you're not happy with that, you can take that, and you should do this off your work, but I'm showing you what I'm doing, just touching that edge and teasing a little bit of colour in there. Just to give that kind of a really rich colour. And then you can have there's purples and yellows, pinks and purples. I think we'll have this a nice a hot red would look quite nice on there, I think, possibly next to that one, maybe, or maybe not, maybe a green. We'll have a green. So we'll have a bright green, we'll have an apple green, I think. Apple green's quite bright. Again, you can have apple green at the bottom. And if you don't put any colour at all on that side, that's going to be your highlight again, that side. Now, again, that is the highlight because I'd forgotten. Obviously, that's where I said the highlight was coming from. So that's the light, the edge of the light. So again, you can activate this gorgeous apple green. And because I'm going to put red, I can get away with going over those sparkles. But I've got to be fairly quick. And I've got to be fairly wet. Not too wet, but not a dry brush. Because I need to tease that colour around there. So I get a natural highlight. Just the tiniest amount of a highlight on there. Well, Suzanne, the 20 would be fine. The 20 would be fine. It's just you want a finer one for smaller areas. So especially the little dots here. When this is dried, I'll use the chili red I've got here, and I've put a dot into there, but I'll draw it in. So remember, never stick these in water. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen a lot of videos where people are shoving these in water. Do not do that because you will damage your paintbrush, your pencil, sorry. There is no reason why if you use a damp brush on the end of here, you can't get it any stronger. There is no reason to do that. The only thing it does is it rots the wood and it wrecks the pencil. So sometimes you've just got to be a bit careful when you see people do things with the certain products. And if doubt, always go on the website. So go on the, don't take my word for it because I know diddly squat. Go on the Derwent official site and watch how they teach you how to use them. And this little man here on his DVD video, this video, he says never put them in water. So if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So that's completely dry now, so I can just tickle the end of there with a damp brush. And this is how you get the colour of the Caran d'Ache as well. So you can see, oops, there is a little bit of red on there. So I just want to touch that. And that's probably, no, it does have the green behind it, but it's fine. That is probably and luckily that end one's going to be the palest. So I've got from dark to light. And that's going to be as dark as you want it. And there was no reason to dunk that in water at all, because that's it. The paint brushes will not last. Your pencils will not last. I don't think I'm going to do any more purple ones because they kind of disappear a bit. So we probably could do with an orange one next. There's a tangerine colour. I might do a tangerine. And perhaps I can do a tangerine and purple one here. I'm just going to put a little bit of flat colour on that one. And again, if I'm clever enough, I can drag it round to a highlight. Just tease that across and then start from that end. Tease that colour across until eventually you end up with a middle colour. And again, if you're not happy, you can just tease a bit more colour into there. To bring it round if you want to give yourself a little highlight. I think we'll have the Shiraz looks quite interesting. So, and again, if you've played on the front practice baubles, you've got a good idea what things are going to do. Just tiniest amount of colour on that one. As soon as you're activating it, you can see. And again, that's why I use my little book, because these colours are not what they seem. Yeah, completely different to the end of the pencil, so it's good to have a colour swatch. And while you're at the colour swatch, you may as well do a kind of portable watercolour travel book, and then you've got the best of both worlds. And you've also got a scale as well, which is quite nice. So a little bit different, but I can put some sparkles on there. My poor attempt at baubles. So if I choose a dark colour, that's not going to matter too much, is it? And I can have peacock blue. Again, I can manipulate the colour if I want. And I do have a bit of a line there, but that's my fault. So I'll let that dry a minute. And so we need another green, so we could have it's the worst thing is choosing your colours. It takes you forever to choose the colours. I think I'm going to do, I'd like a purple one, but not the, and see that one just disintegrates, but it would be better when I get, disintegrates. My, like the scarlet pink. My vocabulary is all mixed up today, so I've got a bit of fibro fog, and that's my excuse. I'm getting all the wrong words, so I'm doing a bit of a Hilda Baker. I am, and if you want to laugh, look up Hilda Baker on YouTube. Very funny lady. Showing my age now. That's old even for me. I don't think I wanted teals because I've got teals, so it's nice to pick out some bright ones. So I think we could have the red violet looks quite pink. So we want some pinky ones. Fuchsia pink's quite nice. A bit of fuchsia pink. So again, the fuchsia pink wants to be scribbled down here. And then kind of gone over again. So that's going to be really rich down here. Oops, try and stay in the lines if you can. Maybe a little bit there, because again I forgot to remember the light's coming that way and I keep forgetting. So thank you for joining me. I'm glad everybody's feeling a bit better today. I'm getting ready for the big day. I'm afraid everything this year is going to be shop bought, because I used to cook everything from scratch, but that's not an option this time, so something had to give, and it was the cooking. So I've got about 500 cookery books, and I think it's time I got rid of some now. I thought about donating them to the lady on TV has her school somewhere near York, which is probably about 5 miles from where we are. So I was going to Rosemary something or other. She's quite bossy. I've forgotten what she's in the cookery section. I can't think what. I'm sure it's Rosemary. Might not be. Because I have some very, very old French cookery books. And of course, our cookery all came from France, or a lot of it did. So, I might try the mulled green. No, I won't. I'm going to do a peacock. Deep violet. There's the dark purple. Dark purple gone. I can't find dark purple. Oh, it is dark, is that one? I gave all my, I had the full set of Agatha Christie's, and I gave them to the library at Goole. I donated them all to the library at Goole. Because they were having an Agatha Christie. It's quite a long time ago now. They were having an Agatha Christie thingies. Hi Scooby, welcome to Bonnie's Designs. Very, very quiet day again here. Quiet Monday morning. I bought some Christmas colour books, and oh, what's the other one called? The Daydreams. I think I've got the Daydreams one. Or if I got I think I've got the Daydreams one as well. So I thought I wanted to do the bunny